Folks, how about another round of applause? We have 12 teams here this week representing 8 different states. To the right side of the clubhouse, please remove your caps as we honor this great nation with the playing of our national anthem.
But want to just take a minute. My name is David Bounds. I'm the general manager here at the Ripken Experience in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And just want to recognize a few groups of people here today. Players, if you can do me a favor, I want you to look out and find whoever brought you here, whoever made this week possible. I want you to stand up and I want you to give them a big round of applause. Our parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, there are a lot of people that made this possible here this week. Let's give them a big round of applause. And while you're standing up, I want you to turn around and give it up for these coaches right behind you. Without these coaches, we would not be here. They dedicate their time and their energy and their love for these kids. We certainly appreciate that as well. Well, now you can turn around and have a seat. How you guys doing today? Oh no, that was weak. How are you doing today? That's what I'm talking about. We've got a great week planned for you here this week. We certainly appreciate everybody coming out. I want to talk to you about a couple different things before I turn things over to our special guest here this week. I want you to understand that being here this week, playing the game of baseball, that it's not a privilege, or not. It's not a right. It's a privilege, right? A lot of these people made this possible here this week. There are a lot of people that would love to be in your shoes. All right, not just here, but every single day when you're out playing. All right, don't take for granted the time that you get to spend, all right, playing the game of baseball and playing sports. You know, we all have the health to be able to come out and play. We've got the love of these coaches and these parents here that have made this possible. So take advantage of that. All right, understand that this is an unreal opportunity for you guys to continue to grow as great citizens. All right. You can learn a lot about life from the game of baseball. All right, you can learn how to fail, how to succeed, how to be part of a team. All right, this is a difficult game to play, right? Raise your hand if you think it's difficult sometimes. All right, I've got a lot of people that would agree with you. Okay, keep that in mind. At Ripken Baseball, we talk about a lot of different things, right? But we're very much a family-run organization, and now you are all part of the Ripken family now that you're here this week. All right, well, what does that mean? All right, it means we hold ourselves to a very high standard. All right, who here wants to win this week? I better see every hand go up. All right, everybody wants to win, but the reality is there's only going to be 2 champions, all right, of the tournament. But that doesn't mean that we can't all choose to do things the right way. That means hustling on and off the field. It means respecting your teammates, respecting your opponents, respecting your parents, respecting your coaches, respecting the umpires. All right, we can all choose to do things the right way. All right, you'll see shirts here this week that say hustle takes no skill. You don't have to be the biggest, the fastest, the strongest, all right, to hustle. All right, on and off the field. Choose to do things the right way. All right, now that doesn't just mean you're on the field, but now you're representing not just the name on the front of your chest and on the back, all right, but you're also representing Ripken when you're out in our community. All right, so keep that in mind. You're representing all right, your hometowns, your states, all right, your parents, all right. But most importantly, the thing that I want you guys to remember here this week is that this week is about having a lot of fun, right? Baseball is a game, and games are meant to be fun. If you're not having fun, all right, when you're out here with this view, with this crowd, like, then there's something wrong. Just have fun with it, all right? If you go out this week and you try your hardest and you maintain a positive attitude, right? We always talk about those things. Your coaches probably say it all the time. They probably say, hey, there's lots of things in life that you can't control, but two things you can are what? Attitude and what? Attitude and effort. Attitude and effort. All right, if you can do those two things here this week, if you maintain a positive attitude and you give everything you've got when you're out here, I promise you when you leave here, you're going to have a lot of fun, regardless of the wins and losses. All right, 20 years from now, you're not going to remember whether or not you won or lost this tournament. I promise you. I don't remember when I was your age whether or not I won those tournaments, but I do remember the people that were sitting right next to me. I remember my family being there. All right, I remember the coaches that coached me, that helped mold me into who I became as a man. All right, so take advantage of that. Have fun with the person sitting right next to you this week. All right, pick them up when they're down. Do things the right way. All right, give everything you got, and you're going to have a great week. All right, so with that being said, we're here to make sure that you guys have a great week. All right, myself and the rest of our staff that's sitting back here, we're here to make sure that you have a great week. If you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to bring them to us, and we'd be more than happy to help you out. But without further ado, I want to take just a moment and introduce this gentleman. You had the opportunity to take a photo with him just a couple minutes ago. He's a 3-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion, National League Rookie of the Year in 1990, 2-time Silver Slugger Award winner, and he was inducted into the Atlanta Braves Hall of Fame in 2007. Let's put your hands together for Mr. David Justice.
Thank you. I had a great time taking pictures with you guys. I like to guess who the shortstops are, third baseman. I was decent today. This is the highlight of my day, because when I was a kid like you guys, we never had a major league player come to our practice. And I never met a major league player until I was actually drafted. So I love the opportunity to be able to talk to you guys, because you guys are the future of this game. You guys are the future of baseball. And I played 14 years in the big leagues. And I played with the Braves, the Cleveland Indians, New York Yankees, and I played with the Oakland. And in my career, I was in the playoffs every single year of my career, except my rookie year. So I played on some really good teams. Now you guys are young. You guys are middle schoolers now, right? Okay, so there's a lot of baseball in your future. And the one question I get all the time from young players is, Mr. Justice, how can I make it to the big leagues? What do I need to do? And I've often thought about that question. And so I wanted to share a few things with you guys today of what I think it takes. If your dream is to be a Major League Baseball player, these are some of the things that you need to have in your bag. First and foremost is your attitude. When you come out here on the baseball field, you have to feel like there is no other place that you'd rather be than here. Come out here with a smile on your face every single day. I mean, look how beautiful today is, right? We're going to play baseball for a whole week, get some hits, pitcher's going to get some strikeouts. Your parents are here to watch you, your support system. First of all, how many kids actually drove here today? Drove. You did not drive. You're not old enough to drive. How many kids drove? Actually got behind the wheel and drove. How many? How many kids? I want to see your parents. They're doing something wrong with your kids. Okay. How many kids are washing their own clothes this week? Your own? Just you. How many? Doubt it. How many kids, when the bill comes at the restaurant, is taking out their credit card and paying for the meal? How many? Stop lying. See, already you're not going to make it to the big leagues. You're already lying at 11. Right? So here's my point. The reason you guys are here with this great opportunity at the Ripken Experience is because of your support system right here. All those people right here, they love you, and they're trying to give you the best that they can give you to reach your dreams. Now, before we talk baseball, let's talk about school. See, it's really easy to get you guys to come out here early, take ground balls, take batting practice. You'll be out here all day playing baseball. But I can't get you to do 1 hour of homework on your own. Well, I'll tell you this. If you plan on playing in the big leagues, that means you got to play in high school. That means you got to have grades good enough to play in high school, or they won't let you play. That's how important school is, guys. Not everybody gets drafted out of high school. Some of you are going to have to actually go to college. Once again, that means you're going to have good test scores and good grades. So listen to me when I tell you. The amount of work that you put into baseball, I want you to put that same amount of work into your school. Y'all promise me? Let me get hands on who's going to promise me that. All right? I want to see the hands. Listen. It's the best job in the world, guys, being a Major League Baseball player. Best job in the world. I would love for every one of you to reach that dream, to experience what it feels like to win a World Series. You know, be the last team on the field celebrating, jumping. You've seen it. You've seen them jumping around the clubhouse, champagne, championship rings. You see? Some of you guys saw it today. That's the fun part of being a baseball player. But we're at the beginning right now. So let's talk about what we need to do. Effort. Every day, come out here with a smile on your face. Every single day. Your competition is the world. The world. You guys can be the best player in your league, in your city, but you got great kids all over this world that are trying to do what you're trying to do. So how do we separate ourselves from those guys? Enthusiasm. Come out here every day with a smile. Ready to get better. You can get better every single day. Hustle. On and off the field. I was a left-handed hitter. Speed was not my game, although I could run, but speed was not my game. I was a guy that hit home runs and drive along the gaps. But I'll tell you this. Every ground ball that I hit to second base, I actually thought I was going to be safe when I was running down the line. That's how hard I ran. You hustle every time. Put pressure on the defense. When the defense sees that you're a kid who hustles, it makes them feel like they got to get rid of the ball quicker, doesn't it? And rushes them. That's what you want to do. You want to put pressure on the defense. Now, when you guys get into high school, you're going to have crowds, but you don't know who is the college coach. You don't know which person is a scout. You have no idea. But these are the things they're looking at. What kind of energy does the kid have? Does he have a smile? Positive. Oh, he hustles on everything. Positive. Okay? Now, none of us like to strike out. None of us. But we all know strikeouts are part of the game. It's part of the game. Whoever your favorite player is, look at the back of his baseball card. I'll bet he has strikeouts back there. But we all seem to treat strikeouts like it's the worst thing in the world. It's just an out, guys. It's just an out. But how many times do we strike out and we hang our heads and we walk back to the dugout like it was the worst thing in the world, right? Don't do that. When you strike out, you keep your head up. Walk back to the dugout. I'll be back in a minute. You got me that time, but I'll be back soon. You got 8 other guys you got to get, but I'm coming back. That's the attitude I want you to have. That's the attitude that scouts are looking at. They're looking at how you act when things are tough. So now you go back to the dugout, you got your head down, and all of a sudden your next teammate goes deep. Hits a bomb. And everybody's cheering, and you're still in the dugout with your head down. Now if I'm a scout, you know what I'm thinking? He may be a little selfish. Because everybody's up celebrating his teammate who just got the home run, but you're sitting over there with your head between your legs. I'm watching that as a scout. You make it out, it's just an out. Your teammate's a home run, you be the first one. High-fiving him. I'll notice that. And I'll say, oh, that's a good teammate right there. Even though he wasn't successful in his at-bat, he's celebrating the success of his teammate. You got to be a good teammate. When your teammate gives up a game-losing at-bat, a hit, you know your pitcher's not trying to do that, right? You know he's feeling bad. You be the first one to him to tell him, that's okay, baby. That's okay. We'll get him tomorrow. You see, that's being a good teammate, supporting each other. In my 14 years, I honestly only had one bad teammate, and we didn't have him for long. Because when you play for good organizations, they get rid of those guys fast. See, you guys are going to grow up. You're going to play with kids that are really good, fast, can hit, can throw. But they got the worst attitudes in the world. They won't go anywhere. Because that's not part of the formula, guys, to get to the big leagues. Attitude, be a great teammate. Hustle every time you're out here. And another one. Don't always have your mom and dad asking you if you want to go to the cage, asking you if you want to go take ground balls. You have to have it within yourself to want to do these things. You have to be telling mama or daddy or grandma and grandpa, come on, let's go. I need to go hit. Let's go. I can't drive yet, except those two other kids that drove themselves. But the rest of y'all can't drive yet. You know, give me a ride. Give me a ride. I need to go hit. Dad, mom, grandma, granddaddy, uncle, whoever it is. Okay? But the beauty about this small group, two guys, is because it's only us, I'm going to open it up for questions from you guys. Think about some questions y'all want to ask me, because you have me right here. How often do you have a former major leaguer in front of you that you can ask him any question you want? Anybody got one off the top of their heads? Anybody?
How did you get better when you saw a competition that was way better than you?
Okay, so the question was, how did you get better when you saw competition that was better than you? Okay, you have to realize that baseball is a very simple game when you think about it, right? It's just catching, throwing, and hitting. Hitting probably being the most important thing, because if you can't hit, you probably won't play this game too long. What makes us a good hitter, though? First and foremost, we have to know the strike zone. You all watch SportsCenter, don't you? Right? You know who Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, name all the great All-Stars. You probably saw the All-Star game. When do you ever watch SportsCenter and see a guy hit a home run on a pitch over his head? Or a pitch on the ground? Stop. No, you don't. No, you don't. Maybe Ichiro could do that, but nobody else. You don't see it, right? It seems like home runs are always right here. You know why? Because all of us, me, you, your coaches that played, the parents out here that played, we all understand that we're all better hitters when we hit strikes. The key, no matter who you're facing, hitters, is make him throw strikes. The sooner you understand your strike zone, and the sooner you can gain the discipline to only swing at strikes, is when you'll start becoming a better hitter. Then it won't matter who that guy is. The plate's only so big, and it's right there. Your strike zone is only so big. If you make the pitcher come in your strike zone, you're going to get better hitter, no doubt. Any other question? Okay, so before I step into the batter's box, welcome my plan. All right, so you heard David say I was National League Rookie of the Year my first year. Okay? My approach, my rookie year, which was given to me by our hitting coach, Clarence Jones, here's what he said: stay on the fastball until 2 strikes. So what that means is I'm not swinging at anything else except the fastball until I get 2 strikes. Now look how simple that makes the game. Okay? The only time as a hitter that we're nervous is when? With 2 strikes. Because now we got to hit everything, right? We don't know what's coming. It could be curveballs, split finger, change up, we don't know. But up until 2 strikes, the fastball. You get to the big leagues, boys, hitting fastballs. Not sliders, Not change-ups, not curveballs, not split fingers. You get to the big leagues hitting the fastball. And if we were able to go watch a baseball game right now and sit and watch how many fastballs they get at the big league level. Watch, that's the game. At this level, kids can't even throw breaking balls for strikes consistently. You're just kids. You're still learning. So if you commit yourself to just hitting the fastball until 2 strikes, you're going to get it. My approach, my plain approach, solid approach was I looked fastball every pitch. I took the breaking ball until 2 strikes. That's the simplest approach. Now, depending on the pitcher, too. Some pitchers that have a little sink, some of you guys maybe have it in your game already, pitchers, or your coaches are teaching you. If you're a left-handed hitter and a guy has a little tail away from you, a right-handed pitcher, then I always lined up to try to hit the ball left center field. Because the ball's going away from me. If I try to pull that, I'm coming around it, and I'm probably going to hit the end of my bat, and that's that ground ball to second base. So I would set up to try to drive it out left center field. But my basic approach, and I honestly would advise you, it worked in the big leagues. It'll work at this level. Okay? Stay on the fastball until 2 strikes. Once you get 2 strikes, now it's all about battling. Put the ball in play. Put it in play. Choke up a little bit, short your swing. Make the defense have to make a play on you. Put it in play. Okay? Question? Come on, guys. I'm here. I'm right here in front of you. You gonna do it? Okay, my man. Okay, so I came up with the Braves. When I first came up, they had me at first base, which was not my position. And thank God they moved me on first base. I played right field in the National League. When I was traded to the American League, I played left field. So basically, I have to play left and right. Those are my positions. Annoying players on my team or kids that I coach? Okay, I told you earlier, I didn't have any annoying teammates. I never had any. I was thinking of something. Oh, before I forget this, I meant to include this earlier. So, there's a fine line between a championship team and a team that's really good. Whenever 2 teams play against each other, 2 really good teams, obviously one team wins, one team loses. We understand that, okay? But usually it's always one play here or there that turns the tide in your favor. Guys, outfielders especially at this age, we don't get a lot of balls. It can be so boring standing in the outfield while the infield is getting all the play. But outfielders, you may only get 3 balls in the game, but they might be the 3 most important balls. You may only get 1. So let me give you an example here. Let's say we start a game right now. First pitch of the game, say I'm in right field. Ball's hit to me in right field. It's a ball that I know that I actually could have caught had I been prepared for this. See, so let's say the ball's hit to me, right? It drops right there. I catch it on the bounce, I throw it in. Inside, I know I could have caught that ball. If it was a 3-3 game, bottom of the 6th inning, everybody's into the game now, we're excited, I catch that ball. But because it's the first pitch of the game, a lot of us are not ready to make a game-saving play on the first pitch of the game. We're still waving at our friends coming in, trying to find mama. You see, you haven't really worked up a sweat yet. So let's say that ball drops. Okay, no problem. I throw it in, man on first, no big deal. Next pitch, let's say base hit to right, he gets to third. 2 strikeouts, right? And then a base hit and everyone scores. Okay? Now we're down 1-0. No big deal. We got a lot of game left, right? A lot of game left. Except the pitcher on the other team throws a no-hitter against us. And we lose 1-0. Now, fellas, How important was that first pitch of the game now? How important is it now? See, every pitch of the game has the same level of importance. That's how you need to think. That's what a championship baseball team thinks. Expect every pitch to be hit to you. Every time. But don't just expect it to be hit to you. Think about what you're going to do when it is hit to you. What do? See, this is the type of thinking that I'm trying to put on your brains. Because this is how a major leaguer thinks. This is how a major leaguer thinks. Before a ball's hit to me in right field, I've already ran through every situation of what I'm going to do. Whether it's right at me, over this shoulder, in, straight back. I already know what I'm going to do. That's how I want you to start training yourself. Every pitch is important. So I want you guys to now start challenging yourselves. Every game you play from here on out. As the justice told me, first pitch is as important as pitch 100. First pitch of the game, I want to see every one of y'all ready to make a game-saving play. Because you know what? It might need to be played, need to be made on that first pitch. Does that make sense? You understand that? All right, give me another question. My favorite player growing up. Okay, so I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio. So I grew up with Big Red Machine. So you guys are too young, but that's guys that you may have heard about. Pete Rose, Johnny Bench, Joe Morgan, David Concepcion. My favorite player was Tony Perez. Because he was their first baseman, and I'm a lefty, I played first base, so he kind of had to be my favorite player because we took, our second baseman's favorite player was Joe Morgan, So it was like that. So Tony Perez was my favorite player. I had several. Hank Aaron, Willie Stargell. I used to always get the Los Angeles Dodgers baseball cards. Every time I got a pack of cards, it was the Dodgers in there. So I seemed to get Steve Garvey all the time. So he kind of became my favorite player because I got him all the time. But yeah, those were my favorite players. Hey guys, who all here knows who Francisco Lindor is?
That's my favorite player.
Right? When you think of Francisco Lindor, this is not a trick question. I'm just curious. What's the first thing you think of when you see Francisco Lindor? You raise your hand first. What? Fast. Okay. Okay. Smart. Gotta be smart to play in the big leagues. And what I'm looking for, how many times do we see him smiling? Does he look like he is the happiest guy in the world? When you come out on this field every day, I want you to think of Francisco Lindor. You take this field with an attitude like Francisco Lindor, you are on your way. Because like I told you, scouts and coaches, they are looking at that. Because they know that those type of personalities are not everywhere. But they also know those type of personalities can make everybody else on the team better. Francisco Lindor, since all you guys raised your hand, if there's anything you remember about what I'm saying today, remember that. Question?
Got one more.
Bryce Harper. Okay. And listen, that's a very valid question, guys. I'm telling him you got to have a good attitude, and he says, well, Bryce Harper made it. Okay. So. Okay. Coaches, I will need you to kind of expound on this later. If you're really good, sometimes they will look a little bit past the attitude. But I've seen a lot of interviews with Bryce Harper where he does seem like he's really a team guy. And I'll tell you another thing. His teammates love him. Because when you see him hit home runs, look at how they act. They take his helmet off for him so he throws his hair back. Right? They do all that stuff. If your teammates didn't like you, they wouldn't do that for you. Okay? Yeah, he may have a little bit of what could be perceived as cockiness. You know, he's probably been great his whole life, you see. But again, I'll bet you he's a great teammate. But I'm not asking you to be Bryce Harper, am I? Who did I say? Francisco Lindor. That's who we're trying to be. All right, one more question. Tell me one more question. Big man back there. No. So, at the big league level, you're facing the same pitchers all the time. So you kind of get a feel for how they're going to pitch you. Okay? So, if I know a pitcher's going to throw me a first pitch fastball away because that's routine what he does, I'm looking to drive him that way. I'm going to take what he gives me. Okay? So, as I tell you guys, first pitch fastball, you ready? One of my pet peeves is do not get jammed on the first pitch on the fastball. Don't get jammed on the first pitch fastball. That's what you should be looking for. You should be looking to rake it. But I would say this. Look for a fastball in the area that you like for the first pitch. Okay? If it's there, then go get it. If it's not there, you can take it if you want to. Okay? But if it's there, you make sure you put a swing on him. Don't give somebody a first pitch fastball right down the middle. Might be the best pitch you'll see. Right? And I don't know about you, but I can sleep at night knowing I struck out or I took a curveball or a split finger changeup. I can't sleep at night knowing I took a fastball right down the middle. I just can't do it. So I want you to be able to sleep well at night, okay? We got one more question, then I think our time is up. Okay, come on, talk to me. I went through everything. I went A-ball, AA, AAA, big league. I went through every one of them. Everyone, that was such a quick one. I'll go one more. I loved to hit. So now the season was a long season. We played 162 games. So I would take about a month and a half off after the season just to relax. And, but then once I started getting back into baseball, I'm hitting every day. On my last day in the big leagues, I still felt like I could have been a better hitter. You see, you're going to always continue to hit and try to get better, guys. You're going to always try to get the best out of yourselves. And you'll have that same feeling like I had. You never get to the point where you're so perfect as a hitter, because that means you're getting a hit every single time. And we all know that's not going to happen, right? Okay, so let's round it up real quick. Parents, they do everything for you, right? You better be thanking your parents for bringing you here to this beautiful facility. I got all your parents' phone numbers. They're going to call me tonight. Whichever one of y'all did not say